All right, good morning. Sorry, could you pass me the clicker? Clicker. All right. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Yeah. You know, sometimes I question this weather in Seattle or in Washington. I love the sun. And so when the sun started coming out, I was like, wonderful. And then we had 5 days of rain. And I was like, what's happening here? And then that weekend, the sun came out. And then again, Monday to Friday, it rained. And I was like, what's happening? I know, God, I know I love the sun. You know I love the sun, but I'm feeling like this weather is being manipulated here. So I did a Google search, like every other person would do, I hope, or maybe not. And nothing happens. So it's just the weather. And I was very curious, like how does it actually happen? I didn't dig much into that. I just left it at that. But it's a beautiful day. The sun is out, and I'm grateful. I hope you are too. And today I'll be sharing about Heavenly Mother's heart. This actually came to me recently when listening to Pastor Naokimi speak on this or share about this. And my experience with Heavenly Mother started very recently, actually. Recently would be about 3 years ago. And this, a true mother talks about heavenly parent, right? God is our heavenly parent. And I wondered, why does she keep repeating this over and over in her message? What am I not capturing? Why is she saying this over and over? And I was like, am I missing something? I hear her saying, but I'm not understanding why it's a repetition. And then I realized I was hearing her, but I wasn't actually listening to what she was saying. Listening as in taking it into my heart, trying to understand what she was saying. And when I actually did, I realized that was like the moment, like the aha moment. It's not just Heavenly Mother, she's trying, Heavenly Parent she's trying to connect us to, but she's trying to create a space for us to be able to understand the feminine aspect of God, which is Heavenly Mother. And in order for us to fully understand God's heart, we must recognize that God is not exclusively patriarchal, right? We live in a world where God is or has been or is still considered just our Heavenly Father. But we must understand, like the divine principle talks about, right? There's the dual characteristics, right, of God as the masculine energy and the feminine energy, which we all possess, right, within ourselves. And even the Bible talks about it. The Bible talks about it when it said, so God created mankind in his own image. Oh, there it is. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. This is in Genesis 1:27. And the divine principle talks about the yin and yang, right? Songsang and Hyeongsang, the dual characteristics. And there it is. God, the subject partner, has the dual characteristics of yang and yin in perfect harmony. God is the harmonious union of masculinity and femininity. Right? Do you agree? Yes. Yeah? Okay. I mean, we all know this, right? This is like ABC to us. And so what is a mother's nature? When we talk about Heavenly Mother, right, we look or experience Heavenly Mother's heart through our mothers, right? And so what is a mother's nature? Can I get some ideas from the crowd? care for others, right? Embrace others, nurturing, feeding, right? And what about the father's nature? To protect. Just that? Yeah, so mother's nature, embracing, loving, caring, feeding, right? And if we see this, and the Bible said, right, male and female, he created them in his own image, right? And so we experience this motherly heart of God through our mothers. And so that's the nature of God too, right? The feminine nature. We even see that in creation. When you look at the mother's heart being expressed through the animal kingdom, right? And we see that amongst each other, our mothers, our own mothers as well. A popular one is, how the mama bear protects her cubs, right? Yeah, and that's how we get to see the dual characteristics and this feminine aspect, this feminine energy of God being expressed. And as a mother comforts her child, so will I comfort you, and you will be comforted over Jerusalem. And this is in the Bible too, Isaiah 66:13, where it talks about mother, God speaking from a mother's heart, a mother's perspective, God's feminine energy saying, I will comfort you, comfort her child. And just a story, actually, when I started trying to experience, understand, and connect with Heavenly Mother, it was very challenging for me because I was used to God, praying to God as Heavenly Father. I was like, it's easy. You grow up, how many years? At that point, maybe I was like 22, 23. No, 22 before I got blessed. Yeah, and it was so, if that's all I knew my whole life, right? Heavenly Father, that's how I knew how to pray. And then now shifting to Heavenly Mother's heart was difficult because I didn't know how to pray to Heavenly Mother. Like, what do I say? It's like with Heavenly Father, it's just like, God, guide me in this and that. And then Heavenly Mother, the first time I did was in a Chanchimwan. I went in there and I was like, Heavenly Mother, I want to connect with you. And so I started praying to this heart of a mother, and I just started crying. It was like this pain in my heart where it's like Heavenly Mother had been yearning to connect with me. It's like, oh, you're finally here. It was this stinging pain in my heart, and I just started crying. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even have the words to say. And so I just allowed that moment to happen, that experience to happen. And the whole of history, this history of the providence, is also trying to connect to or bring out Heavenly Mother's feminine aspect into the world because it hasn't been recognized. We haven't recognized Heavenly Mother for a long period of time in this history, right? Even from the fall, actually. After the fall, we lost that connection with Heavenly Mother, right? And one time I was in the Chanchimwan in Las Vegas, and I was looking at this painting as they were talking about Heavenly Parent, and I got distracted, and I was just staring at this really beautiful painting. It was a painting of flowers. It looked like a garden. I was reminded of the Garden of Eden, and then I had this vision of like the Garden of Eden and what happened, Adam and Eve and God. And then it was like after the fall, it was like I could see Heavenly Mother's feminine energy, Heavenly Mother just kind of like go back or kind of shut down in pain. And I in that moment, a tear just rolled down, and I was like, oh, this is how it happened. I don't know if it's true. It was just a vision that I had, but it was just like in that moment, I understood the pain that Heavenly Mother had or felt. it was just shutting down and really painful experience, and I could feel it in my heart. And I was just so sorry to Heavenly Mother that I myself didn't even recognize her, and that I was even having a hard time connecting with her as my Heavenly Mother. And in the Cheonsonggyang, True Father says, when you go to spirit world, you will see that there's not only the Heavenly Father, but also the Heavenly Mother. Can a living being come to exist without both a mother and father? That is why the way to heaven comes through the mother as well as the father. And so for thousands of years, humanity cried out only to Father, right? Heavenly Father, while the motherly heart of God quietly wept in the background. And this was kind of the story that I was, the vision that I saw, waiting for the era when her children could recognize her, us being able to recognize that Heavenly Mother is in existence. Heavenly Mother is here. Heavenly Mother cares. Heavenly Mother loves me. And yeah, actually, even with my prayers to Heavenly Mother, I pray to God as Heavenly Parent, but then there are moments where I'm like, I just want to connect to this Heavenly Mother's heart. And so I pray when I used to pray to focusing on Heavenly Father, I'd pray and be like, oh God, this is what's happening, that I want, maybe I'm praying for something, I want to pass my exam. And then it was like, I would feel like immediately I'm like, you know what, Eunmi, man up, you gotta do what you gotta do. And it was very like, strict. That's the kind of feeling I was getting as I was connecting. And then when I tried to pray to Heavenly Mother, it was like, it's okay, Eunmi, it's okay, we got this. You can do this, like motivating me. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. The moment I do that, it's like, oh, girl, you gotta, man up, do what you gotta do. And then when I connect with Heavenly Mother, it's this love and embracing heart. And I feel that too with my mom too. Well, sometimes her sometimes her masculine energy overtakes, and it's like, oh, Eunmi, you got this. Like, you just go. You can do anything, And then, but what I'm looking for is like, sometimes I'm like, I just want her to tell me it's okay. You don't have to do that, right? Yeah, and that's what we look for. And recently, I've been really yearning to connect with my mom, actually, mainly because she makes good food. And I just have moments, I'm like, oh man, at this time, my mom would be making me like really good fish, well seasoned, and, this and that. I don't know why fish is coming up, but yeah, and I'm like, I realize I feel a lot of love from her just through that, the fish experience. And that's how it is too with Heavenly Mother. Those little moments that you have are really precious, not just to you, but also that experience of connecting with Heavenly Parent's feminine aspect. True Mother shares in her memoir of the Mother of Peace that my lifelong goal and determination is to fulfill the dream of God. Our Heavenly Parent longs to live together with all of us. I've had to swallow my bloody tears of desperation and conceal them deep within me in order to comfort the heart of God. And so even in True Mother's memoir, she had mentioned in one part that right before the holy marriage blessing, she shares that she could feel, she was in school. There's this story for those who've read the memoir. There's this part in her memoir where she says she was in school and she was called to the office, and she was told that her mother is sick. And she was concerned, of course. And then later, she rushed and she realized what that meant, actually. She realized that it wasn't her physical mother, but it was Heavenly Mother's heart. God was yearning for her. God was sick, basically. God wasn't well. God's motherly aspect, God needed her. God needed somebody. God needed her as her daughter to be able to take on this responsibility. And she felt that. She felt that deeply. And that's why she has been walking through this path of being able to realize God's dream. And one part of that is being able to bring out Heavenly Mother's heart to the world. And I actually realized that just through my own experience that, because I always wondered, like, how do we change the world? How do you change this world with 8 billion people, right? Like, how do you start? We are a movement that's been trying to do this for years, right? And so it was like, how do we get to the whole world, each and every individual? And from my experience with Heavenly Mother, I realized that was it. Each and every person needs to be able to experience both aspects of God, not just the Heavenly Father aspect, but the Heavenly Mother, where they feel embraced, where they feel loved, they feel protected, even through Heavenly Fathers, experiencing Heavenly Parents' love altogether, not just, even in our lives, not just one parent, right? You can't just, you can't understand a mother's love if you haven't experienced it, right? You can't understand a father's love if you haven't experienced it. You need both of them to understand what parents' love truly is, right? And so it's the same with Heavenly Parent. If you only experience Heavenly Father's heart, you wouldn't know what Heavenly Mother's heart feels like. And so, or Heavenly Mother's love feels like. And so when you experience both, that's that was my solution. I was like, that's it. Everybody should just experience Heavenly Parent together as Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, experience Heavenly Mother's love, and that is the solution. I don't know where the truth is to that, but that was it for me. And I could feel it really deeply, actually. I was like, this is it. And I tend to be very convicted in some of my ideas. My husband knows this. And and this was one of them. It was just like, I have found the solution and I will tell the world. And here I am telling the world. And so today I would like to ask each and every one of you to try that too. The call to action is to try and experience, try and allow and invite Heavenly Mother into your heart, into your life. Try and invite that love into your heart. And one way could be like when healing the broken. A mother's instinct is to run towards the child who's crying the loudest. We must look at our communities, the lonely and the marginalized, with a mother's eye. So that's how you can heal those who are broken around you, those who are struggling around you, looking at them with a mother's heart, mother's love, mother's eye. And forgive and embrace. Practice the unconditional grace that characterizes Heavenly Mother. And lastly is prayer focus. In your personal prayer, try speaking to Heavenly Parent or Heavenly Mother. Right? Has anyone in this congregation tried that? In this community? Tried praying to Heavenly Mother? How did it feel? Elena? Good? It feels good, honestly, I'm going to say. It feels really good. And when we call out to Heavenly Mother, we're acknowledging that part of God that has wept for us in secret. That part that knitted us in the womb. And that part that will never, ever let us go, because Heavenly Mother is eternal, or eternal mother. Heavenly Parent is our eternal parent. So, yeah, let's move forward comforting this feminine aspect of God, our Heavenly Mother and our Heavenly Father all together, Heavenly Parent all together. And that way, we can not only find true love within our heart, we can also express that to our communities, right? Yeah, we don't want to just end it with us, like, this is just my experience. We also want to bring it to the rest of the world. And like I said, the solution is everybody, each and every human being experiencing Heavenly Parent's love in their lives. And that, my friends, my brothers and sisters, I've always wanted to say that, and that is how we'll be victorious in realizing God's dream. Adju? All right, thank you. Have a blessed week.